Hey Internet, it's me. Tonight I watched Thanksgiving. Right off the bat, honestly, this is just a blast. It's it's a slasher film, and you do spend a lot of the film trying to figure out, who the killer is. Like it's one of those whodunit slashers. Yeah, it's just done really well. There are a ton of really gory, gruesome kills, which is great. And you really, the whole time you're going back and forth trying to figure out who it is. Is it this boyfriend or this ex-boyfriend or this one stranger or this disgruntled guard or whoever? The whole time you're really trying to figure it out. And I don't know that you ever land on, oh, it's the cop, which I just spoiled it. But, you're coming in for a review. You've seen the videos. You know what I'm doing. They're all spoilers. But yeah, I don't think you ever see it coming. But it's real fun, just the journey you take to get there. And like I said, a lot of gruesome kills, a lot of just good gore and suspense, and they make it really fun. It's a joy to watch the whole time. I think this year, just with the movies I've picked and the lineup I have here, I think that's kind of the theme, is just fun horror movies, things that are just a joy to watch, whether it's because the cinematography is good or the acting is good or the comedy's over the top or the gore's over the top or whatever it is. They're all just a good time. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm alone in that. Maybe a lot of people don't have, fun and joy while watching horror movies. But I don't know. I think they're all blessed. I've been loving it the whole time. Yeah, I don't have a lot of complaints with this one. I think all the acting is great. There's not a lot of huge name actors here. I think the person I recognize the most is the father, Thomas. And he's been in a lot of dramas. I think he was in Law and Order and CSI and all those kinds of shows. I'm pretty sure he was in Suits. I remember seeing him as a rich lawyer as a comedic throwaway scene in a movie, and I couldn't even tell you what movie. But yeah, he's been in a lot of things, but he's one of those actors where you see the face, you're like, oh, that guy, but, you probably don't know his name. That's not to say he's bad or anything. He's a great actor, and, he does a good job, and he's been in a bunch of things, so, congratulations, power to him. Yeah, there's no major A-listers or anything, which I also think is good. I think it takes away from the movie if your actors are all, super well known, because then you might see them as other roles, or you might think to yourself, oh, well, this actor's clearly going to live, because you're not going to kill off, your biggest A-list star. You're not going to pay them all this money to kill them off in the first 10 minutes. So, yeah. I actually, on that note, too, if I was ever to direct, a big-budget horror movie, if for some reason someone decided, hey, we're going to let this guy do it, I am going to subvert every expectation so fast. One of the first things I'm going to do is find a big-name celebrity and give them a completely no-name throwaway role. I might not even have them have lines. Let them be an extra in a background, and when the slasher comes in, let them be just, collateral damage. As they're just slashing around with a butcher knife, they just nick this person's jugular and they just bleed out and die without ever getting a line. Just because no one would expect that. A huge name, too. If it's Scarlett Johansson is just there, and you're in an auditorium at a children's play or something, and all of a sudden a slasher starts coming down the rows and just hacking up everybody, and she's there presumably watching a kid or something. She's not a named character, she has no lines, and all of a sudden her throat's cut and she just bleeds out and dies. No one would expect that. It would be hysterical. I think that's the best way to do a cold open, is to do something insane like that. But anyway, back to this movie. It's directed by Eli Roth, and I know the name, but honestly right now I didn't look him up before starting this video. I couldn't tell you anything else he's directed, but I know a lot of people, when this movie was first announced, were very apprehensive, thinking, oh, he's not always the best director, he might not do the best job, blah, blah, blah. So in my head, I remember as people were saying that, I was picturing like an Uwe Ball scenario or like an M Night Shyamalan where it's like, oh, this if all his movies just suck, I don't want to get hyped for this. Like, is this gonna suck too? But again, I knew nothing about him. I was just going off at that point what other people were saying and what I was hearing, which is stupid on my part. I should know better. But yeah, so the first time I saw this movie, I'm like, holy shit, this is great. And then watching it again this year, if anything, my opinion is even higher. Like, it's a really enjoyable movie. It is a lot of fun. You know, the cold open with the Black Friday scene is great. Because that is how people behave. I know I'm on a tangent here now, but like, I've worked retail for Black Friday multiple years, and I actually worked at Walmart the year that the Xbox 360 was on the Black Friday sale. Jeez, those people. I saw a biker easily a foot taller than me, and I'm not a super short dude. I'm 5'10". He loomed over me. This dude had to be pushing 7 feet. Like, just massive dude, big, stocky, burly guy, leather clad and jeans. Like, the biggest, just biker fucking dude you've ever seen. Literally crying. I mean, tears in his face. Literally crying. Because he couldn't get one of the discounted 360s because they had all been grabbed already. It was insanity. And like, yeah, there's always fights, and there's always injuries. Half of the stuff that is on the floor gets broken because people trample it or trip and fall over it. They just tear up the whole store. And then the craziest part is the next week, half that shit comes back anyway. Not the 360s, because it's a Microsoft product. It's a real product that you were going to buy anyway. But like one year they were portable DVD players. And they're going for $30. Which I know nowadays you're like, yeah, that's too much for a portable DVD player. At the time, that was a very good deal. DVDs were the thing. Blu-rays didn't exist yet. Streaming was not even close to existing yet. I'd say about 70 to 80% of them got returned to the store because they were garbage. They were some off-brand Chinese company you'd never heard of and will never hear of again. They were manufactured for maybe $1. They were all trash. They stopped working almost immediately for everybody. They all got returned. So all that waiting, all that fighting, you stood outside the store at 2 a.m. in the cold, in the dark, you missed your family dinner the night before just to get this, $30 portable DVD player that only worked one time, if at all. Like, Black Friday is for idiots, and I never feel bad for the people that waste their time or money or get injured or whatever. Like, you're a dumbass for doing that in the beginning. Honestly, the sales are never that good anyway. Like, even if all of that aside, like, the online Black Friday sales or the Cyber Monday sales, they're never that good. You'll save a few bucks, but like, stores don't give things away. You're getting overstock, or you're getting cheap brands, or they artificially mark the price up so they can lower it back down. Like, you're never getting one over on the store. I don't know why you think they would advertise ripping themselves off. You're an idiot. But, tangent over. The cold open scene at the beginning with Black Friday is just a lot of fun. Watching everyone, they burst through the door, and then people are getting trampled, and just, it's hyper violent right off the bat. And that basically sets the pace for the movie. Like, in that cold open, you understand, like, okay, they're not pulling punches here. Like, one woman gets scalped, and people are stepping over her. Another guy is bleeding out, trying to grab this waffle iron thing, even though he's bleeding out. Like, his priorities are stupid, and obviously it's commentary on capitalism. But, like, someone else comes and rips it out of his hands after he's essentially died on the floor, cradling this thing. It's just really good. And then, like I said, that sets the tone, because the whole rest of the movie, you're not going too long between scenes of another murder. Like, they keep the action ratcheted up, and they really just, keep you guessing who's doing this, who's going to be next, and it's really good. They kill some of the actual, like, the main group of teenagers there. They do kill a couple, which, it's standard for something like this. You can't let the whole group live. That's cheap. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I think that's the main takeaway here. You should definitely watch it. It's just, if you don't like the gore, you definitely skip this one because you're not gonna like this. But if you're okay with the gore and just over the top violence and just the fun, ridiculous aspect of horror, this is a great one. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And I think that's it. So, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.